Welcome to the British Challenge.
And the next part of our challenge within a challenge, Staffordshire in a year. Today is all about 2 villages, 2 village halls, 2 village churches and
an Old English drinking ritual.
Woo!
Hey, you nailed it! Come on, let's go. We're here at Gaytan Village Hall and there are some informative notice boards with some really interesting information and facts about Gaytan. Gaytan Village Hall was originally a barrack hut used in the times of the First World War and given to the village in 1922.
In 2006 the barrack hut was dismantled, removed and rebuilt near to Cannock Chase Visitors Centre.
The new village hall was completed by 2007 with grants from DEFRA, the Landfill Trust and the National Lottery and the generosity of Lord Harrowby.
And more information can be found on the signs along the Gaytan Heritage Walk.
This lamp box, so called because it was attached to a lamppost, is rare because it was made with the royal cipher of Edward VII, who only reigned from 1901 to 1910. It's no longer in use and was donated to Gaytan Heritage Society. A short distance from the village hall is Gaytan Church, and it's St Peter's Church. There's some beautiful stonework on this church and a lovely moss path. How gorgeous is that? Look at that old tree. Wow. Look at this beautiful old tree. How amazing is that? It's amazing. Very old tree and it's still trying to grow. We wonder what it is.
The church here at Gaytan used to be dedicated to St John the Baptist, and sometime between 1834 and 1851 the dedication was changed to St Peter, and nobody really knows why. This church was originally built around the late 11th century and early 12th century. Although the church has been heavily restored over the years, there are still some original features dating back over 800 years.
At St Peter's Church in the graveyard there's another public footpath. If you follow the yellow dots and keep following them, this one will take you to Sandon Hall. A few more steps from the gate into the field there's a fork in the pathway. If you take a right it takes you onto the longer heritage walk around Gaytan. This is the old schoolhouse, which is now a private residence. This ford must be part of Gaytan Brook. This lovely wooden bridge is part of the longer heritage walk. This is so beautiful through here. We took the shorter route through the barley croft.
There used to be a hotel in Gaytan somewhere called the Gaytan Hotel, which was built in the early 20th century, replacing the old Dog and Partridge Inn. This was more recently demolished.
Countryside walks.
Badges. Okay, are we ready? Yeah. I'm not going to fall. This is how you safely get over a stile when you've got really short legs. There we go.
Just up the road from Gayton is the village of Fradswell. Fradswell Church is dedicated to St James the Less and is a 13th century church. Much of the church was rebuilt in the 18th century, but the chancel still exists almost in its original form.
Oh, what an interesting gate. I wonder where that leads to. Oh, we recognise the name Eld and the village Seiford from a previous video.
The new village hall in Fradswell was born out of necessity and the tenacity of the villagers themselves. Like in Gayton, the villagers in Fradswell formed a community group to set in motion a project to build the new village hall with the help of a lottery bid. And then with Irene Phillips, Irene, you were one of the few people that were instrumental in getting this project kicked together and also bringing it to fruition.
Well, you say a few people, but there were about 13 of us all together on the committee, so we all had a little bit to do. Obviously, the chairmans were the main thrust of it. Barry particularly, Barry Dore, who we all know and love, he was the one that was convinced it was going to happen and kept us all going. However many years ago, 6 years ago? That was when we got the lottery funding.
Right.
This is courtesy of the big lottery and a lot of hard work. And it went from a World War I Nissan hut from Cannock Chase, which had more holes than wood by the end, to this magnificent building.
I mean, how long had the hut been here?
Oh, it was put up in 1924.
Right.
It had obviously gone on to the Chase in 1914. So it was already 10 years old, having been used by soldiers and airmen on Cannock Chase when it came up here, and it finally came down in 2014, I think, or 2015.
Yeah.
So it had been, it was nearly 100 years old. I mean, it was 100 years old. And if you think of the timber in it, that was even older because the floor was a sprung dance floor, pitch pine. So that must have been cut down, in the middle of the 19th century, 18 something or the other, for it to have been used as seasoned pine in the 1914-18 wartime. It must have been cut a long time ago.
Now you've got this village hall. This is quite a spread out sort of village from Fradswell, but you've got quite a thriving community now.
We have. Well, there was always a thriving community. It's a farming community, so farmers have always got together for various things, feasts and that sort of. We like eating a lot up here and drinking. Hence the torches, which I think you'll see later, won't you?
Oh, yeah.
But the old village hall was the focus of the village. The school went a long time ago. There was a pub that went a long time ago. There was a shop and a post office that went a long time ago. So the hut that was here was the focus of the village, and this has continued to be the focus of the village. But we actually do more things now. This is the centre of a very spread out village. So it was absolutely paramount that we kept a building here. We had to have the centre of the village, otherwise that was it. Fradswell would have just dissipated, really. So we now have this beautiful village green at the back here, which has got our little orchard on it. And where the Serenity Garden is now was actually the pump house for Sun Farms water. So we had a well, and it was pumped from here. So this is we didn't really know it was there. Because there was a pump house and just scrubby old land, and it was completely unused. And now we've got this wonderful Serenity Garden. It's got roses, and the gardening club comes. It's got perennials. You can see the greenhouse. The children set the seeds. We use the produce in the lunch club. And the village is free to come and pick the tomatoes whenever they want. And we've got the little summer house. People come up and picnic. And I don't know if you'll film later, but the view across from the Serenity Garden across to, you can see the Wrekin actually.
Yeah.
It's just open from there. So it's fabulous. It's beautiful. We love it.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
So can I go and put my torches out
Please.
now?
Yes, go out. The wassail is imminent.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, we've got flaming torches in about 2 hours.
Okay. Let's do it. And I'll help you.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Do it again.
We're here.
We're here at Fradswell Village Hall.
For the medieval drinking ritual that is wassailing.
It's nice and warm here.
Yeah.
I think we volunteer for this job.
Try your phone down.
Are you ready? Yeah. Okay. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, one and all, to our merry wassail.
We're in the village of Fradswell and we're here in the dark, as you can see, for the wassailing. And over there, if you have a look over that way, you can see everybody's carrying torches, banging things, and we're going through the ceremony of the wassailing, as you can hear. So let's get to it.